and welcome to Mangum News. I'm your host, Elijah Mangum. This week we'll be discussing the Mandolorian Season 3 finale. Governor Tate Reeves signs major bills from the 2023 legislative session. The Supreme Court rules on an abortion pill case. Popular cable news hosts leaving their networks. President Joe Biden announcing a 2024 re-election bid. Mendenhall twins at the top of their class. My weekly weather report and my exclusive interview with WLBT Weekend morning anchor and reporter Carmen Poe. Without further ado, let's begin. The Mandolorian Season 3 finale is an epic and satisfying conclusion to this mixed bag of a season. The episode is full of memorable moments and great action sequences. Overall, I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. Governor Tate Reeves signed 3 pro-life bills on Wednesday that were the legislature's response to the overturning of Roe v. Wade last year.
Mississippi has moved to the next phase in our pursuit to build a culture of life. That phase is the new pro-life agenda. 2
of the 3 bills are to improve the foster and adoption systems. One establishes a foster parent's Bill of Rights.
The adoption process is far too expensive. The program will cover a maximum of $10,000 worth of adoption expenses for those who adopt a child from Mississippi and $5,000 of expenses for children outside of Mississippi.
The other makes the adoption process more affordable. Commissioner for the Center of Child Protection Services, Andrea Sanders, spoke at the signing on the benefits the bill would have on her agency.
I have 3,706 live souls on board. So those are the number of children that are in the custody of the state. When we start to really focus on meeting the needs of those children, it also allows us to look at data and start to see where the gaps are in our systems in Mississippi.
Another expands tax credits for pregnancy resource centers.
We're going to succeed in making abortion unthinkable for future generations. We must continue to work together toward this common goal.
The postpartum Medicaid expansion bill has already been signed, and Governor Reeves said it would improve health care for women in the state.
Jackson has so much potential.
On Friday, Governor Reeves signed the controversial bill, House Bill 1020, which will expand Jackson's CCID district and would allow the state to appoint judges in the district.
And I want what's best for Jackson. But for us to continue to see young kids getting killed in the streets, for us to continue to see property crimes that are happening here that are causing businesses to leave, we've got to make sure that we have law and order.
On Saturday, the NAACP sued the state over HB 1020 and SB 2343. On Friday, the U.S. Supreme Court allowed the most commonly used abortion pill, mifepristone, to be widely available nationwide. The court blocked in full a decision by Texas U.S. District Judge Matthew Casemark on April 7th that invalidated the Food and Drug Administration's longtime approval of mifepristone and handed a sweeping victory to abortion opponents. While most of the justices did not disclose their ruling, Justices Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito revealed they voted against it. The case will now go back to the Fifth Circuit for oral arguments on May 17th. Two popular cable news hosts were dropped from their respective networks on Monday. Fox News' most viewed host, Tucker Carlson, agreed to part ways with the network following the network's loss in a defamation suit against Dominion voting systems. Carlson's last show was Friday, April 21st. Meanwhile, at CNN, Don Lemon was terminated. This comes after allegations of mistreatment from his female colleagues and controversial comments made about 2024 Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris officially announced their re-election bid in the 2024 presidential election. The announcement was made through a video early Tuesday morning, the 4-year anniversary of his 2020 campaign announcement.
Let's finish this job. I know we can, because this is the United States of America. There's nothing, simply nothing we cannot do if we do it together.
Former President and Republican 2024 frontrunner Donald J. Trump released a video in response.
With such a calamitous and failed presidency, it is almost inconceivable that Biden would even think of running for re-election.
You may remember the interview that I did with my own valedictorian and salutatorian at Florence High School almost 2 years ago. Both were named Ian, which were spelled with the last 3 words of both valedictorian and salutatorian. Now in 2023, Mendenhall has topped that story, with twins becoming the top 2 in their class. WLBT's Holly Emery has the story.
Bailey and Peyton Eubanks say their competition for the highest academic achievements began.
Growing up, we've always been so competitive with grades. We've always took tests and been like, oh, what'd you make on this? What'd you make on that?
Bailey is captain of the high school cheer team, student council vice president, president of the Beta Club, and was recently named class valedictorian, while her brother Peyton is on the baseball team, president of the school's Math Honor Society, a member of the Beta Club, and salutatorian. And if you haven't noticed yet, they're also twins.
Peyton's always been my best friend, honestly, in everything, in school, anything we had to do. That competition comes naturally anyway, especially being brother and sister.
Yeah, we look out for each other.
For 4 years, the two siblings say they've been within a few GPA points of one another, pushing each other to do their best.
The past few months, we've been we don't know who's going to get it.
Yeah. Sometimes it would get a little heated at our household, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes we'd be arguing, but at the end of the day, we'd always, help each other, too. We would help each other with our struggles and stuff like that.
They're outgoing kids, and they're phenomenal. They work within our school. And if Peyton's in the mix, Bailey's somewhere in the mix as well. So we see them all the time. Since day one, they've been phenomenal students.
So does graduation mark the end of their competition? They say it's not.
We're both going to Mississippi State in the fall, and I'm going to major in business administration.
Yeah, and I'm doing business administration at Mississippi State too.
This week there will be rain chances Wednesday through Saturday, ranging from 20% on Friday to 60% on Thursday. Temperatures will be as low as 50 on Sunday and 82 on Wednesday. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got started into journalism? Where you went to school, any other jobs you may have worked, what your motivations were for this field?
Yes. Okay. So, I tell people all the time that I was not the person that grew up saying, I want to be I didn't idolize reporters, news anchors growing up. That just wasn't me. I watched the news. My parents always had it on every morning while we were getting ready for school. So I was always a consumer. But I was just never one that said, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do. What happened was I was in 9th grade, and there was this class that used to be called Technology Discovery. And it was, I think, 14 modules, maybe 16. Anyway, each one was a different career. So there was one that was environmental science. There was one that was CAD. You could learn about being an engineer. Then you had one, I can't remember all of them, but one of them was audiovisual. And you had all the equipment you needed to be a DJ. You had the equipment to be a reporter. You had the mic, you had the camera, you had the live mic, you had the stick mic, you had a tripod. You had everything. It was in that module, learning the ins and outs of how that equipment worked, learning how to mix audio. I was like, I think I kind of like this. I was also a part of, what is that technology club? What is the name of that? Not Tech Discovery. That's the class. What was that club? I have to think of it and get back with you. Anyway, I was in this club that it was a spring off of a Tech Discovery. So in the club, there was this competition where you had to put together this best video, and you had to tell a story. It was a competition across the state within the club members, had to tell a story using that video equipment. So my friends and I were in the club, and we did a story. I was in the band, so we did a story about the drum line and their practice and their hard work and determination, and how it got them to earn a 1 at competition, the drum line. And we actually won when we submitted the piece that we did on the drum line. We won, and we came home first place statewide. So we did really good on it. So after being in technology discovery, after doing that competition through that club, I was like, okay, I want to be a reporter. So during my senior year, we had the option to do some internships and shadow, because they give you a couple of days within your senior year to kind of, follow people on their careers. That's how I decided this is what I'm going to do. So that class, I wish they still offered it now. They don't. They got rid of it. And that was a class that wasn't just at my high school. It was, a statewide thing. They got rid of that class, but it did exactly what it said it was going to do. It exposed me to something that I didn't even think about, and I latched on, and I just haven't let go. So you asked, kind of how I got into it. I tell people all the time, it was the unconventional way. Truly. Because when I got out of school, I tried so hard to find a job. Oh my gosh. I sent out, I kid you not, it was probably 200 emails, resume reels, mailing them all. I might have gotten 3 responses. And then they ended up being no. So I ended up I was in AE. I moved to Auburn, Alabama. I was a county executive at a radio station. And this is not what I wanted to do, but I was like, maybe this will help me. I don't know what I was doing. I didn't want to be in sales, but I did that for like a year. Didn't like it. Quit, moved back home. And I ended up working as a sub, which I loved, actually. If I wasn't a reporter, I'd be a kindergarten teacher. So I absolutely enjoyed it. I loved it when I was a sub, because I was busy every single day. Anyway, still throughout this time, I'm still applying, because I'm not doing what I want to do. I was a sub. I was like working at a retail store. I think I was working at Gymboree. So what else was I doing at the time? Can't remember. One other job. Just doing things, still applying. I also enrolled in Mississippi State because I thought, I can't find a job, so maybe I'll go back and get my master's. So I'm just doing all these things, trying to just keep busy while I'm still trying to find my job. Ended up applying actually at WJTV and still trying to get my foot in the door. I didn't get a job in news. I got a job in the sales department as a local sales assistant. They knew from the very beginning that I didn't want to be in sales. I was like, look, guys, I want to be a reporter, but I just want to get in the door. And they said, okay, as long as you're a hard worker, we don't care what you do. Just come in and do your job. And then after work, if you want to be a reporter, then go out with them after work. And that's what I did. I did my job as a local sales assistant. I talked with the news director at that time. And after I got off work, I would go out with the reporters, because I'm just trying to keep busy, keep my skills up, and do whatever I can so the news director sees me. So maybe when a job opens, he'll consider me. So I did that. Local sales assistant came along. I'm still applying, still not getting anything in the news business. But then a programming coordinator position became available at Channel 12. It was a promotion. So I thought, okay, I'll take it. And I'm so glad I did, because I've been able to learn so many different departments within news because of this journey. Got the promotion, still applying to positions, not getting anything. Then, so by this time, about 2 years had passed from when I first started at JTV. So a position in Hattiesburg, WHLT, which is a sister station of WJTV, they had a reporter position open up. And when that happened, I was like, I went to the news director and I was like, hey, I want that. Because the news director at JTV and HLT, they're the same. So I went to him and I was like, look, I can do this. This is what I want. I've been coming after work and showing you this is what I want. I applied, went through the whole interview process, and I got the job. So yeah, I tell people all the time the unconventional way. So it took me a little longer than some of my classmates, but I'm not ashamed of my journey. I'm happy about my journey because it really showed me, I know I know how every department works within news. I know how they work together, but my hard work truly paid off. I mean, nothing's instant. So yeah, took me a minute, but I got here. So then, I went to Hattiesburg. I was there for 2.5 years. From there, I was at WAFB in Baton Rouge for 4.5 years. And now I'm here.
And where are you from, by the way?
Edwards.
Edwards. So you're from Mississippi. So you're in Edwards. All right. Tell me a little bit about what your day in the life as a reporter and a weekend news anchor is like. What it kind of tell me a day or a week in the life?
Well, so I get up roughly around 2:30. My day officially starts at 3:30. So as a reporter, as an early morning reporter, you have your story together the day before. And so I would have my scripts and everything already written. So by the time that the day started, all I would need to do was, put my scripts into the system, make sure, everything reads well, the intros are good, the supers come up good, the video is attached, my sound is attached. Then you meet up with your photographer around 4:30 and your live shots start at 5. You have live shots at 5, 5:30, 6, 6:30, 7 o'clock, and 8, because the morning show is until 9 o'clock, from 5 until 9. Including the Fox station. So yeah, that's about it. So start at 3:30 and I'm done roughly around 12:30 every day. So early mornings, early nights.
And is your schedule, what's the difference between being as a reporter and when you shift towards the weekends and you run the weekend morning show? How does that look?
So I get in only about 30 minutes later on the weekends. On the weekends, I start at 4. So I will get here, and the first thing I do is I read through all the scripts. Read through everything and, put it in your own voice. Make sure that it sounds like you when you're saying it. And read through the shows, make sure everything looks good. And that's basically it. Then after the show, then I'll run and, if they have assigned something for me for that day, I'll go run out and get that after the show is over. Come back, put that both side, that package together. And my day basically ends around 1:30.
And what would be your advice to an aspiring journalist?
I would say learn from my story and don't ever give up on yourself. And also don't be afraid to make mistakes. Make mistakes. It's okay. That's the only way you're going to learn. That's the only way that you're going to grow is, you falling on your face and you being forced to pick yourself back up again. That sounds so simple, so cliche, but it's so true. Again, I tell people, and I'm not ashamed of the way that it took me to get to the news department, because it has helped me in so many ways, you know, in terms of being able to push through and be determined, and you know, have that grit, because you need that, because the news is tough, because the people that you're going to run into are tough, because it can be a rough business, but it can also be very enjoyable, and you're going to meet some people that are going to be your friends forever. But you need to, I would say, don't be afraid to make mistakes and stick with it. When somebody says no, that's okay. That's okay. Just know that there is an opportunity. There's always another opportunity for you, if you're patient enough for it.
That's all we have for this week. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all next week.